Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, we're going to talk about the rifles that he was using in the JFK assassination. Again, when we talk about the JFK assassination, especially over the years, everybody talks about the Carcano rifle or a Mauser rifle. They don't talk about no other types of rifles or anything else, but there's always been evidence there. Like I said, there's always been evidence in front of the public's eye if you start piecing it together. And you start, once you start piecing everything together and you start looking at how everything is and stuff, that evidence can reveal of what type of rifles they was using that day. Now, as I point out in my research, they're going to use the same type of rifles or same type of weapon, and they're going to use the same kind of ammo so they can portray it as one person taking the shots and not 5 or 6. Okay, which they had 5 assassins there that day. But again, nobody knows what type of rifles they use. So I've been doing, studies on this for a long time, talking to people and everything else like that, going over the images, going over how the bullets, would react when it hits a certain object and everything else, even in the body parts and everything else, going over this piece by piece to reveal of what type of rifles they was using. And I have figured it out by photographic evidence and all of what rifles they was using in the assassination of JFK. Now, like I said, they always talk about the Carcano rifle or the Mauser rifle when it came to JFK assassination, but there's always been evidence out there. Just like when we look at the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building. Okay, what did they find there? A bullet casing, a 30.06 bullet casing. Am I correct? We can use that. We can use that now. How can we use it? Because that bullet casing will tell us what type of rifle that this assassin right here was using that was on the rooftop of the county records building. Here's that rifle. Right here. An M1 Garand rifle. This is an automatic rifle. Type of bullets that was used for it. This is the type of rifle that the assassin on the rooftop of the county record building was using. Now, when I look more into it, like I said, piecing the evidence together, so what we got to do, I find out what type of rifle that this gunman here, was on the second floor of the county records building, had. Here's the type of rifle that he was using. He was using, right here, this is a carbine rifle. He was using a carbine rifle. Okay, so now at this point, the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building was using an M1 Garand rifle. This gunman here was on the second floor of the county records building. He was using a carbine rifle. Okay, which is also automatic. Now, again, like I said, when you're doing research and doing investigations, you measure the barrels, which we can in the in the Mormon photo and stuff. You measure the barrel length. You check out the style. You check out the shape and everything else like that. Now we know exactly what type of rifles that these two gunmen had. Remember, like I said, they're going to keep the same use as the same rifles. They're going to use the same rifles so they can pull this off. So where it looks like one person or 2 people there assassinating JFK, not just one. Okay. We have right here the revealing. The gunman that took the fatal headshot to JFK was using an M1 Garand rifle. The guy that took the shot to Governor Connally, which is the second gunman right over here, he was using a carbine rifle. So now at this point, we know exactly what type of rifles that each one of these assassins was using. As I point out, the evidence has always been in front of the people. All they had to do was look, study the film, study the images, check out the length of the barrel of the rifles and stuff, see how they're reacting, how they're holding the rifles and everything else. You'll find them answers. The answer's always been in front of people. So now we know that the gunman on the rooftop of the county records building and the gunman that took the fatal headshot to JFK was using an M1 Garand rifle. if I'm not mistaken. It's a Grand. See, Garand, Grand rifle. And then the gunman on the second floor of the county records building, and the second gunman inside of shelter number 3 was using the carbine rifles. So there's 2 carbine rifles and 2 M1 Garand rifles used in the JFK assassination. Oswald, I said he had a M1 in there, which he hid above the box of the window, and the car counter rifle was nothing but a decoy. Okay, that's why I keep on telling people, and I point this out because it was a decoy rifle. But like I said, when it came to the JFK assassination, everybody was, let me shrink this up because I know you probably couldn't see this part here, which I'll show this right here again. Right here, we'll zoom back a little bit. Okay, the rifles was used here, and then the rifles used here, which is all the same. So basically, they was all using the same types of rifle to an extent, each one of the gunmen. Okay, that's why if you look at it, okay, we'll point this back up. If you look at it, which I'll see if I can bring this up just a little bit more. Okay, over on this side, which we'll do it this way. Okay, without going full screen, because I know I'm over here. If you look at it this view, you would say, well, yeah, it's more plausible even when they're using these type of rifles, because you got 2 guys in 2 different locations using this type of rifle, and 2 guys in these 2 locations using this type of rifle. So we got 2 different types of rifles, okay, but from different locations. Plus they're smaller and they're more compact, where you can actually slide underneath your overcoat or something, and no one's going to notice anyway that you know what type, you have a rifle with you or anything else like that, or click up the barrel real quick and then put it all on your coat. Because when you look at the butt plate imprint that's on the guy's coat, which is the gunman inside shelter number 3, does match up to the butt plate that's on the carbine rifle as well, by the style and shape of it. So see, the evidence has always been in front of the public's eye, but all they want to talk about was a car counter rifle or a Mauser rifle, okay, because that's what they're fighting and argue about, just that one type of rifle or the other type of rifle. But they're not paying attention, was there other gunmen there? Okay, well, there's bullet casing here was found on the rooftop of the county records building of 30.6. A bullet 30.6 found in the grass area. No one's making this connection. No one's going to say, well, let's see what type of rifle uses this type of bullet. Okay, I have. Then when we start analyzing stuff and we start measuring the barrels up as we see the gunmen in images of the films and the butt plates and everything else, now we know exactly what type of rifle that each one of these gunmen was using. The gunman on the rooftop of the county records building was using an M1 Garand. The gunman on the second floor of the county records building was using a carbine. 2 gunmen inside of shelter number 3 was also using a carbine, and an M1 Garand rifle as well. So see, you will want to use the same type of rifle. So if you're going to portray as 1 shooter or 2 shooters, when they find the bullets or fragments or whatever, they're going to line it up and say, okay, well, this came from this gun here and this came from this type of gun here. So they're going to use 2 different rifles and say, well, okay, well, I can see this now because we've got 2 different types of rifles here with the same kind of bullets here and there, because they want to use the same type of bullets and stuff. So see, this is going to throw them off to where if they did figure out there was more than just a 1 gunman there and there was 2 other gunmen there, okay, they're covering themselves too, because 2 of them is being covered up, because they're going to say, well, this shot came from this gun here and this rifle here. So they're like I said, when it came to the JFK assassination, it was very well planned, because they always had backup plans, I should say. They had backup plans, and how everything is lining up, how everything was unfolding when it came to JFK assassination. How it took place, how many shots was taken in that short period of time, who was taking shots at JFK, who was taking shots at Governor Connally, why was distraction shots taken, and everything else. Because you got, when you look at this and you look at everything, you start piecing it all together, you start going over all the information stuff, there's a lot of information there that was overlooked. And believe you me, it takes a long time to piece all this together. But at least today we know, I just made a video about a big change in the JFK assassination, which it is. But at least we know today now what types of rifles they was using in the JFK assassination. Okay, they was using the carbine rifles, and they was using the M1 Garand rifles as well. Okay, these are from, I think, World War I, World War II, and stuff like that. And they also, if you look at the paper and stuff like that, you can order these kind of rifles and stuff like that, where Oswald ordered the Carcano rifle. You can order these types of rifles too, and the ammo with it as well. So see, everybody's falling in line, and everybody's falling in place, and everything's starting to fill in all them gaps now. All them gaps are being filled in now. Okay, because at this point now, we know the true location of the gunman. We know the shots they fired that day. We know what types of rifles they was using. Okay, we know the order of the shots. Okay, we know 2 of the gunmen was dressed up in police officers' uniforms. 2 of the gunmen was the tramps. You know, there's a lot of information now we have that we didn't have years ago. I just want to make this video here to let people know what types of rifles that was used in the JFK assassination, because this is a lot of information to get. You know, like I said, there's a lot of information still I haven't covered yet, and I'm going to. It's just take some time and stuff like that, because here right now I'm piecing everything together for this documentary, and I want to make sure everything, I'll make a video on that when I give the date out and everything else as well. But I just want to give this information out here about the rifles that was used in the JFK assassination. They was using the M1 Garand and the carbine rifles. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Share this information and other information on my other videos. Well, on your social medias and stuff like that. Always in the description down below, you're going to find a site where you can order my book, Evidence of Conspiracy, the only book you ever need in JFK assassination. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.